Hey guys, I am going to talk about Nyx, but the weirdest thing just happened. So I've been just kind of like setting up and I'm like really freaked out actually. I'm getting set up with my stuff and I was just kind of sitting here, and usually before I film like a bazillion little clips of me just saying hi to you guys and like messing up and being like, what the fuck am I doing, before I actually get like in the zone. So I'm doing that. And I'm drinking my Tim Hortons coffee because like it's Canada, and I'm feeling super Canadian, and I'm looking super Canadian today. And I heard a man like like deep throat coughing, but I'm the only person home, and it sounded like it was coming from like right there, like just right over there, like in the living room kind of. So I guess right there, like right behind me. So obviously, like, I go look around the house and there's nobody here. It was spooky, and now I keep like looking over there thinking like, ooh, is something gonna show up? Like, is a ghost gonna show up, or a murder? Because I listen to an unhealthy amount of true crime podcast. Anybody else out there like obsessed with true crime podcasts? Because that's literally all I listen to. So immediately I'm like, ghost or murderer? Like, and then I'm like, hey, well, if it's ghost, like we can do this, this, and this. And I'm like, if it's a murder, like our butcher knives are in the kitchen. The things that go through your mind and you're kind of freaked out. As a horror movie fan, obviously I love to be freaked out, but that was really, it's just weird. Like, I keep looking over there because I'm like, oh my god, what's it gonna be, a ghost or a murder? Anyway, I want to talk about Nyx today. I've mentioned her a whole bunch over the past year and a half, or a year, or however long I've been doing this, but I've never really just did a video talking about working with her, what I do to work with her, and just, share a little bit about that and about her. So Nyx is a Greek primordial goddess, born from the void, born from chaos. So basically, in Greek mythology, she was the first god or goddess. She was the first divine being, and from her came the other gods in creation and so on. So she's powerful, she's a mother, she is the goddess of the night and the darkness. She is the darkness. She's, the dark side of ourselves. She's the darkness, literally, like the night sky and the stars. She drives her chariot across the skies and brings the nighttime, brings us rest and time of healing and peace and all of those good things that are associated with the night. She is those things. She is the night. She is the darkness. She is our own darkness as well. She is a mother. She is just, to me, like, I feel like I have a bit, I'm not saying a unique relationship with her, but I find that a lot of people who I watch or listen to, when they talk about Nyx, they say that how she's very much a mother and a caregiver, and I get that. But I also get a little bit of a sterner side of Nyx. To me, she is that stern mother, that tough love kind of goddess. She's not the goddess that I necessarily go to with problems. I would go to her with solutions. That's kind of the relationship that I have with her. She was probably the first, I shouldn't even say probably, she was the first divine being that I worshipped when I left Christianity when I was a teenager. She was the very first goddess that I connected with. I just remember reading different mythologies and coming across Greek mythology, which is something I was always interested in anyways, you know, like Medusa and in Roman mythology with the planets. And so I was always interested in that. So anyway, I'm reading about it and then I come across Nyx and it was like immediately like, again, that coming home feeling and feeling like this is the goddess for me. This is every noise I hear. I'm like, what's that? But yeah, this is the goddess for me. Like this is the one. So I've been worshiping her since I was probably 14 years old. I would say 14, 15. And she's been a constant in my life. She's been a constant for sure. It's been a tough road. Recently, more than ever, I feel more connected to her. I feel like as I get older, I feel much more connected to her. As I feel like I'm entering this phase where I'm thinking about having children, thinking about expanding my family, maybe adopting, who knows, I feel really close to her. I'm starting to feel more of that mothering aspect from her, feeling that closeness there. But yeah, she's awesome. Her son, she's got twin boys. She's got a lot of children actually, but her two kind of famous boys are Thanatos and Hypnos. Thanatos is the god of death, and Hypnos is the god of sleep. So kind of those two parallels when we think about a death and sleep are definitely twins. She has a daughter, Hemera. She is the goddess of the daytime. So the story between her and her daughter are that they never see each other. As Hemera is coming home from the day, Nyx is leaving, coming in to the night. So really the only time that they do interact, I should say, is twilight and the dawn. So that's the only time they get to see one another. They're polarizing. They're always on this wheel together. I don't have a picture of Thanatos and Hypnos, but they're an easy Google away. But this is Hemera, and I think she's absolutely beautiful. And here is Nyx, one of my favorite pictures of her. A typical old school drawing where like she's got some boobs winking out. Her nipples are kind of winking at you. You'll see the little cherubs in some mythology. Eros, the god of love, or Cupid, was her son as well. In other stories, it's Aphrodite. So I guess it's whoever you talk to. What else about Nyx? I mean, there's not a lot of stories about her. There are some. Like, there's a story about how Zeus was chasing around her son Hypnos, and because he kind of pissed Zeus off. And then when Nyx was like, no, Zeus was like, okay, like they say even Zeus was afraid of Nyx. So like that kind of tells you how powerful and respected she was. And if you want to be a practitioner of Nyx, I think that it's important to always show her respect. And I think that you'll have a good relationship with her. She wore a veil, like in this picture, you can see almost like a veil or something behind her. But in a lot of images or a lot of mythology, she wore a veil, and therefore she was kind of like, she was blinded by that. So you can look at Nyx as kind of that night sky, that darkness. She's not looking at you for you on the outside. She's looking at you for you in your soul. So she's blind to superficial things. So it's deeper. It's deep with Nyx, you know? It's about what's inside that counts with her, which I absolutely love. What else? If you want to work with her, some things that I find have worked for me are different stones. So I find that smoky quartz is good. With Nyx, I like to use it as an offering to her, or I'll put it in my pocket as a reminder of her. I'm not the most super crystal witchy kind of person, but I like to use crystals as just reminders and tools. Like if I see this, I'm going to think about her, you know, and then I may spend some time or just say a quiet little prayer to her or thank her. If I feel the stone in my pocket, that kind of thing. If I see rose quartz, I think about love. That's kind of how I use them. Here I am with my Tim's cup, my plaid, or I see that, I'm like, what was I doing? I just need I got jeans on here. I need a jean jacket, and I could have a Canadian tuxedo. Anyway, smoky quartz is great. Moonstones, these can also be offerings to Thanatos and Hypnos. You can get 2 moonstones and offering them to them. She likes that. I've noticed I became closer to her when I started learning about her children. I spent over a decade just paying attention to her, and there was always some block, and then I started learning about her children, and then it was like the floodgates opened up again. So I definitely would recommend trying to connect with her children, or at least learning about them and showing her that you're learning about her family, because it's so important. Like, in my experience, this seems to be so important. When it comes to statues of Nyx, I have a candle that I just put a Nyx picture in front of that I printed off the internet. I'm sure you can get statues of her. My personal experience is that sometimes I more so see her as the void. I don't always see her as a person or a humanoid figure. To me, she's more the night sky. So something that works well for me is using boxes. And I like to use boxes with kind of sparkles. This is like little kind of rhinestone things. And on the sides are stars. And I find that works really, really well as an image of Nyx, as a representation of her. Inside the box, I keep little gifts or little tokens for her. Stars, dark stones, more moonstones, the pearls in there. Sometimes I put blood in here. I'll take and put blood on a piece of cloth or whatever, and I'll put it in here. I also give her offerings of alcohol. This is Crystal Head vodka by a fellow Canadian, Dan Aykroyd. And I'm a little Canada today, I guess. She likes this. Seems to be good alcohol. Can't really blame her with all her kids and everything and taking care of the night every night, and she can't really take a day off, so I totally get it. So I definitely recommend offering her that. You can offer her flowers, violets. I associate violets with her because of like the rich, deep colors, and again, it makes me think of the cosmos and the universe. Any flower that blooms at night would be good for Nyx. I've meant to bring it in, but like mugwort, that mothering kind of herb. If you wanted to maybe connect with Nyx, you could do like a Nyx bath where you take moonstone or smoky quartz or even amethyst, because it's kind of the stone of the psyche and the unknown. Go in the bath, get some mugwort, steep it in the bath, or make a mugwort infusion. Just take like a cup of it, 2 cups of boiling water, pour it over, let it seep like a tea, strain it, pour that in your bath. It'll be this beautiful dark brown color. And you can kind of just soak in the mother's love. Lady's mantle is another herb that I associate with her, again with that mother kind of vibe. And then on the opposite side, I see like wormwood as an herb that I associate with her. Or even cannabis, anything that stimulates dreams, magic mushrooms, all of that kind of stuff, I think is a great way, if that's your thing, to connect with her or to connect on another level with her. Animals that represent Nyx are like crows, bats, any animal of the night. So feathers, black feathers are great offerings to her. I've been playing with these animal cards a lot, so I just grabbed a couple of animal cards that I think associate with her. So again, the crow or the raven, anything that's black and dark representing the night. I see sharks representing Nyx, the darkness and the unknown of the ocean. The ocean is a void in and of itself, and I can see sharks being protecting but also scary, and the night can be protecting and healing but also scary. So definitely sharks. Owls. another bird of the night. Crickets, as much as I hate them. Spiders, as much as I love them. Yeah, anything at night. Fireflies. I see snakes because reptiles are often nocturnal, so nocturnal reptiles, and wolves because you hear their cries in the night, or coyotes, or any other animal that comes out at night is a great animal to kind of look out for, to see if Nyx is around, that kind of thing. I brought in this veil. So just a quick little Nyx story. It's taken me a really long time. Let me just put this on here. It's taken me a really long time to do a full-on dedication to her. And I finally did it. I wanted to wait for the right time, and then I did it, and I had this veil because I wanted to wear a veil over my eyes to kind of come into the ritual blind and kind of share that with her and share that darkness. And I'm doing this, and I have all these theatrics and candles and incense going and all this stuff. And in my mind, and it was my own voice, right? But in my mind, it was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I take off the veil and I pour some of this out on the altar. I prick my finger. I put blood on her candle, and then it was like, it felt so right. It felt normal. It felt like this was the connection. So that taught me that I feel like she's not super into theatrics. It's just be yourself, be you. Maybe because she can't see us, why would she care that I'm wearing all this fancy, crazy stuff? So just come to her as you are. Come as you are. Be your inner Kurt Cobain. Come as you are, and just go to Nyx. So I think I've talked about, oh no, I didn't talk about this, I don't think. So scrying. Great way to connect with her. This is a frame that I bought from the dollar store that I just painted the back of the glass black, put it back in, and I use this as a scrying mirror. So you just kind of can light a candle, you can sit in the darkness, look into it, and just see kind of what comes to your mind. It's going to probably be your own thoughts and your own voice. I don't hear, oh, there's Jack. I don't really hear her like in my head, but sometimes my own voice will kind of say, you know, maybe this is the way you have to go, or you need to think about what you just did, stuff like that. So definitely you can use this kind of thing to connect with her. And last but not least, I want to end this video reading a poem by Lord Byron called She Walks in Beauty, and it's kind of thought of to be about Nyx. So this is a great poem that you can read as a dedication to her. So she walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellow to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and over that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days of goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you connect with Nyx. If you have any Nyx questions, you can email me or comment below. Thank you for watching.